my volume on. Perfect. Welcome, everybody. Here we are today with my dear friend and colleague, Maria Wade. She is a fantastic professional coach and a colleague here with me. And Maria, will you please tell everybody a little bit about your story?
First of all, thank you, Merritt. And this is my first time when I'm a guest. I'm a star here, so I will enjoy the moment. And my story, when people introduce themselves, they normally share their story, some biographical details, and after that, they add a fun fact. I am a Rolling Stone. Both my parents served in the Russian army, so we constantly moved, not just between military bases. We moved inside military bases between places to live. I intentionally use this term in places to live because it was apartments, the best case scenario, sometimes barracks, and twice in our experience it was storeroom. When my younger brother was born, we lived exactly in this storeroom. No kitchen, no bathroom, not even a sink, nothing.
Wow.
So, and the fun fact is the longest stay in the same place is 7 years. In my experience for the whole life, it was thanks to my twins. They slowed down me a little bit. So we lived 7 years in the same apartments in Moscow.
Wow. Wow.
And this February, it will be our 6th anniversary here in America. And this is our third house now. So we're still moving. Yeah. So I am moving. I am a mover. And when people introduce me as an agent of change, I think that, yes, I am in the midst of change constantly. And so this is, again, it's impacted all my life and my experience and my way to develop myself, because I had to be adaptable. So I adapted, and aligned constantly. So, and when I describe my life with one word, I say, "Oh, I'm resilient." Yes, I definitely resilient. Yeah, just like
definitely.
I'm reinventing myself again and again. Age 5 years. I have this timeline, and I think that I have very serious reason to do this with my life. But I have what I have. And this is part of my story, and all my life and all my professional background impacted this. I moved from my career very, very curiously, because I studied as a lawyer. I have my first 10 years of education as a lawyer, and after that, I got my business administration degree, my financial diploma, and now a diploma from Columbia University as a professional coach. So
you're a real slacker.
Yes. And
you like to sit back on your laurels and just, take things easy.
But when people ask me about my experience, what was in my profession, the most important part, I still believe that I'm a lawyer. On background, I always think about this. I always in this kind of thinking mode. So it's for me.
That's fantastic. It's such an amazing story, I think. I mean, definitely the resilience piece. And what I noticed about you from the moment I met you, it was a couple of years ago. Would never be alive without my dogs barking in the background.
Yeah.
But when I met from you a couple of years ago, I think we met through the Duchess Chamber. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I know we connect a lot on a lot of different points now. So, but definitely your resilience, but also everywhere you go, you just light up a room. You just glow when you enter a room, and you're just so gorgeous, and so like your presence is so. And when I say gorgeous, I don't mean just your face, which is also gorgeous, but also like your whole presence, your whole being is just like, you just bring light wherever you go. And it's such a joy to be with you. So
Thank you. What if I just cannot control my emotions?
Yeah. But you have such a beautiful spirit about you, and given all that you have been through and all the moves and all that, right? I mean, just finding your way in the world in such a beautiful and strong and poised and focused way. You just have such a clarity about you that I just really admire. So thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you, Meredith. Thank you for your kind words.
Oh,
And
it's
you
my
know,
pleasure.
I'm just fulfilling my childhood dreams because I dreamed to speak English fluently and never could. And when we moved here, I have very basic level. Just it was good for traveling, not for life, not for work. And I was almost 40, and I thought, oh, it's impossible. It's possible.
Look at you, you're living proof.
It's possible. I work, I study, I teach, and I coach in English. So it's possible.
You have an
The
Ivy
second,
League degree or certificate.
yeah, and I wanted to ride a motorbike. I do this, so not a problem. And the next dream was to be a pilot, but we have a airport near us, so who knows?
Mm-hmm. You believe it. I believe
And
it.
they have a school. I just checked just in case.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that's next. Why do you think that you have such, or what do you attribute to your ability to just focus on something and do it? What is that? Where does that come from in you?
I'm very unfocused. I'm very unbalanced person. What you see now, how well I organized, my work, how I consistent in achieving my goals. This is just the result of hard work.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that I always had. I had huge battles with my father because he hated when I had a mess in my room. And I remember that I struggled to keep things in the order. Now I cannot imagine how it can be differently. Because I believe in Dr. Peterson, I'm a huge fan of Dr. Peterson. He said that keep your room in order and after that go outside. So we cannot do something outside our room if you have a mess here.
Yeah.
It could be very strict and very bold statement, but I believe it works this way because to start creating something, to start writing something, I really need some space. I need some understanding that, okay, all my notes in order, I remember everything. I want to be prepared. I believe that I express respect to my listeners, to my students. I prepare for my coaching session. Each time I just go again and again. I say, now you will listen to your client. You will keep silent. You will provide a lot of space. You will be curious. And you won't compare your experience and your client's experience.
Yeah.
It's not the same. So relax, enjoy the moment. And how coach said this, dance in the moment. Very beautiful cliche.
That's such a gift, I think, that of coaching. It's so rare that we actually have anybody in our lives. We have the moment when we can actually have somebody give us their undivided attention, right? To be able to just hold space for a person for an hour or 45 minutes or whatever the session is, and really give them our undivided attention and our undivided presence.
Merit, you are right, and I'd like to share a life hack. I have a friend of mine, and she is a friend. She's a colleague. She's my coach. She is a etheric healer. Her name is Kasha. And we created very special type of relationship. Sometimes it's not a coaching, but it's a conversation. But we decide who is the star, like today. Mm-hmm. And the star is sharing, and a friend is listening. Mm-hmm. This is amazing experience. I never had this kind of friendship in my life before that moment that I met Kasha. I'm very, very grateful to her. I believe that she is watching us now. I don't know where, but I know she always supports me. So if you have a friend, if you can practice, just try it, to share something without judgment, without being right, without interrupting. It can be a so nice addition to your friendship, some fresh air.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to shift gears a little bit and talk about, because there's a lot of passion in that conversation that we just shared there. And I want to shift gears a little bit to talk about kind of what's happening in our country right now and your experience of that as a coach, as somebody who has not always lived in this country. What do you have? What's your perspective on that?
I don't like any kind of conversations about politics because I'm not professional politician. So I believe that I have no right to be a judge, or I'm an observer and I'm a participant. I'm a lawyer. I can impact the world in the legal framework. So, but I have a client. And she lives in Washington, D.C., and she is a Black woman, and she experienced very stressful period of her time when recent events in the Capitol happened, and she's still processing, and she is still afraid, and she don't feel that she is free to go out. And this is the question that always bother me, because we have a lot of restrictions right now with COVID, for example. We are at home, but this is the second reason why we cannot leave our houses, and this is fear again. And this is what really upset me. But what I'm doing, I'm working with my clients, and I don't like to reframe their grief or their stress or their bad feelings immediately. I invite them to explore it. I invite them to go to the bottom of this experience. And only after that, ask yourself again and again, what kind of opportunities here for me? Because I am the very, very strong believer that everything in our life happens for a reason and for the better. And when I have a problem in front of me, I always ask myself, where is opportunity? Oh, no, not immediately. I can be upset. 5 minutes.
It takes a while to get to that point,
5
right?
minutes. And after that, I ask myself, what is the opportunity? So I can't continue this conversation about the situation in the country, because in my head, I live in 2 countries simultaneously, in Russia and here. And last time I even tried to live in Belarus, but it's really exhausting. So this year I decided just to focus on my work, on serving my clients, my community, and the world, because I'm a pro bono coach for the global development sector leaders. So this is what I want to be focused on this year.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I was going to ask you what you're most passionate about and why. I think I have an idea of that, but could you dig a little bit deeper into that for me?
Because I have a mission. I'm very passionate about my mission. I live my mission. I live my mission every day. And I want to change the world like a kid. I want to change the world for the better. And I'm doing this through my coaching. And I coach leaders and executives who are responsible for changing or creating or impacting corporate culture. Where the culture where people thrive, not just survive, especially underrepresented groups. The culture where people desire to contribute and where they are valued for their contribution. Yeah. We spend most time of our lives working in our work environments. So I'm working hard to bring people to the better environment.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my mission. This is what I am very passionate about. I'm passionate about the idea of ripple effect of coaching, because I coach my client, but we see effect on all the people around my client, the family, the colleagues, and friends. So I love the idea. I love the coaching. I believe that it's very naturally came to my life. I started practicing 5 years ago. It was I was an enthusiast. Just read some books and said, "Oh, I'm a coach. I want to coach people." And I have had even 3 paid clients. They're still with me, and I'm enjoying looking at their growth. But and they have very special prices, because how you call it, founding members?
Yeah. I have the same thing. I have 2 or 3 clients who are with me that will always have that introductory price.
I don't know why they believe in me. They say that we don't understand anything in coaching and what it is. We just trust you. If you do this, it will be something great. And this is how they came to this world. But after that, it was a lot of intentional work, a lot of studying, and 1-year Columbia coaching program. And so I have hundreds of hours coaching education by now, and hundreds of hours coaching hours practice. So this is what I have, what I enjoy really. I am very passionate about coaching. This is my full-time dreams, full-time job. I'm teaching, I'm coaching, learning, studying, and writing. Yeah.
And you mentioned, I mean, I think it's important too. You and I both really value that certification process. We both PCCs now. I just got mine a little while ago, and
my congratulations.
Thank you. And that was no small feat. And I think people outside the coaching field don't really necessarily have an understanding or an appreciation, not that they should, right, of that. But just to understand a little bit, like what you said, like, oh, I read some books and now I'm a coach. Like, and anybody right now can be a coach because it's not regulated from a licensure standpoint. But it's a great point to make that, like, the ones that have those of us that are pursuing the certifications, that are pursuing the education, that are getting the mentor hours, that are getting all the training hours and the continuing education hours, like, that's a really important distinguishing factor if you're out there in the world and looking for a coach, to just understand how much work and effort and passion goes into that commitment of getting those certifications and that training. So I like to point that out sometimes too, because you can really see a difference in people. We were just talking a little bit.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. I agree. When we graduated from Columbia coaching program, we had our diplomas, we had our beautiful certificates. Yes. But of course, Columbia University have this program as part of the graduate school, and they never sought for ICF recognition. They're huge partners, but we cannot use our Columbia coaching diplomas to have credentials from ICF. And it was very interesting. At some point, I even believed that we don't need it at all. But I went through this PCC credentialing process. It was so horrible experience for me. No. Yes, because it was portfolio path, and I provided ICF with 2 recordings with my clients, and they were rejected, both of them. Oh, no. With so harsh criticism inside, and I just opened it. I believed at that point that I'm a good coach, probably not a great, but good at least, with all these hours. And I look at these papers. It was 15 minutes before my next session with a coaching client. Oh. I had very tough time just to calm down, just to feel grounded. And I was so angry. Mm-hmm. How they don't understand how good I am as a coach, how passionate I'm about coaching. And my mentor, she said that they just don't see you, don't know you. They don't understand what is behind this voice because they just heard
Right.
us.
It's
But
just very technical, that process. Yeah.
next day, I opened the report again. I look at this and I saw the problem. The first was it was wrong recordings. It was peer coaching.
Oh,
People, coaches, please never ever share with ICF peer coaching recordings. They encourage us. They create these peer coaching experiences that you can use these recorded sessions to be evaluated. No, this is worst thing you can do with these recordings. And I started working hard. I started with my mentor again. I work with my supervisor again. So I work hard. When I sent my 2 new recordings, I was sure I will pass. I was so proud of this work. It took 3 months to resubmit the application, but it was amazing 3 months. And every time when I reflect on my experience and my coaching, when I listen to my recorded sessions again, I still have so much to improve, so much to learn and practice. But I'm very happy that I went through these difficulties and certification. Now I understand that people who went through their portfolio path, they are my heroes. I know what they experience, and these credentials are very well deserved.
Yeah. So, and that really speaks. So just for so those of you who out there don't know, the ICF is the International Coaching Federation, and it's
Yes.
the licensing body, or not licensing, but it's the governing body, the gold standard bearer in our field for certification. And in the event that coaching becomes licensed, which is probably going to happen at some point, that's the way these things go. The ICF will be the one to head up that process. So that's why a lot of us, so many of us in the coaching field are focused on getting our certifications. That's one of the reasons. There's also, there's a code of ethics and there's all this training we have to do. We want to make sure that we're providing the highest level of service we can to our clients. So that's what she's talking about there. And also I think, Maria, that story that you just shared, it speaks so much again to your resilience and your focus and your hard work. It's like, my gosh, if you can't, listen to that perseverance in that story.
Yes, it's just the
perseverance. Maria is your coach.
it just evidence that it's not easy to read of me. So
yeah. I wanted to share one thing that Jonathan says. He says, "I agree. Everything happens to teach us something. We need to not find the lesson." And that's so hard to do sometimes when they're in the midst of stress and a mess, right? But to be able to find the lesson, what is this teaching me? And also to make it about us, because what other people do to us is about them, but it's come to us for a reason, right? So what can our experience, our interfacing with that person, with that experience, what does it try to teach us, right? To find that. And that's tough to do. Sometimes we have to go through the process of feeling first before we can get, like you said, when you got that rejection letter, it's like, I had to give myself the time to process the feelings. Yeah,
to get angry, and after that just to reframe the situation and use it for your benefits. So yes, you're right. And I love this idea that if something happened to us, and even it's not about us, because I always said it's not about you, and they never stop. So but again, why we experience it, probably this is our task to learn how to stay calm, how to be kind to people when they experience something, especially if we understand it's not about us. So something happened to them, what it can be. So just to learn how to experience more compassion, to be a better listener and helper.
Definitely. Sorry,
Yeah, I'm killing you with my energy.
Sorry, muted myself. 1 second.
Take a pause. Take a pause.
Okay. I apologize. Oh my goodness. All right. So I would like to ask you, if I can find my voice again, I'll let you talk. What is that one golden nugget of wisdom you like to share with our audience? And I'm gonna cough.
I'm sorry. Okay, so take your time. This is the idea of the month. Consistency is key. Consistency in everything what we are doing. It's not enough just to be engaged with something once in our life. It's not enough to think that if we try thinking, doing something, it's enough. It's not enough. Only consistent work. And when people come to coaching and they expect to have some kind of magic pill, how to improve something. No, it's not about this. And one of my clients, after our 3-month coaching engagement, said, "Oh, I need a vacation." It was horrible. I worked so hard. It was like full-time second job. Yes, because it's all about this. The more we practice, the more we get. I practice everything that I preach. So I am trying this and I repeat it again and again. Consistency is key. If you start journaling, please continue journaling. Probably not 50 minutes, probably 5 minutes, probably 1 minute, 3 words, what you're grateful for example. Or if you create a goal, you need to consistently create your huge baby steps toward this goal. If you, I mentioned my friend Kasha, we just discussed it. Some people are just addicted to change. They watch us, they got some golden nuggets, and they think that, oh, it's completely changed my understanding, or it's completely changed my life. Or a client of mine said that, oh, I met an amazing coach, and after the first session, I understood everything about my life. It's great. This is part of our job, is to create a different level of awareness. But what next?
Yeah.
Consistent work next. So no magic, no anything that can help us to relax. We will relax in our world. Here, we're here to work.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that there's a never-ending process to this coaching. And I'm still having voice trouble, so I'm sorry. But just like there's the process of life is ever evolving, right? Process of coaching is evolving, and it's always peeling back the layers, like that onion analogy. There's always more and more and more to discover. We never even know about how to what all the different discoveries that we make. It's like you make one kind of bit of awareness, and all of a sudden you see how it's tied to so many other pieces in your life that you weren't even aware before. So it's a constant process.
Mary, if you have problem with your voice, I watch several your Leadership Fridays. I can help you to finish the work. So
I think I just swallowed some tea and it went down the wrong pipe. Before we go, I'd like everyone to know where they can get a hold of you, and if you have any other, if you have some new programs coming up. I think you mentioned that you would like to tell a little bit about what's coming up next for you.
Yes, I'm working on separating coaching from teaching. So I offer my clients, and not only my clients, a lot of free webinars and trainings. I will announce them on my Instagram account and LinkedIn account. And I'm very passionate about the framework that is behind the leadership cycle profile that I use with my clients. This is Developmental 360. I'm very, very picky in terms of choosing tools for my work. I don't like excessive using tools because I believe that everything what we need we already have inside my client's head and self. But this is 360 developmental. So it's about your development. I love the idea. I like the science behind this assessment, and I love the framework. And framework is what I'm teaching, what I'm sharing with my clients. So I will create several trainings on time management because it's never about time. I will share some ideas about tackling your tasks, how to be not productive but effective. So I will share my love to Kanban. And what else we have now? And a colleague of mine, David Nakapitan, was my trainer with process communication model, and engage my interest. And I'm going to continue certification in this direction, because I'm very passionate about communication without coercing, without manipulation. It creates better understanding that we have everything inside us. We just need to learn how to leverage it, how to use our strength, how to be better self, how to close this gap between complexity of the world and our own complexity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We cannot respond adequately to the world, complexity of the world, if we're not complex enough. So it's all about development.
Yeah. It's a tall order to respond to the world and the complexities of the world, but we do have tools to be able to do that, and we have support to be able to offer, right? And so I would encourage you all, if you resonate with Maria's messaging today and her story and her stunning spirit that she shared with us today, please reach out to her. She's an amazing coach. She really is an amazing person. Maria, where can they find you?
I made it very easy for my clients and my friends. MariaWade.coach. This is my website. This is my Facebook and Instagram accounts. And my email is not modest, but very, very easy to remember. mycoach@mariawade.us.
Yes, and we're going to put that in the comments. Actually, if you want to, I'll go ahead when we come off the air. I'm going to put it in the comments so people can find you there.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, for bearing with us. We get a little bit better with the tech every single time. Baby steps, but I appreciate your patience with that. It's just such a joy to talk to you, and so thank you so much for jumping on with us today and for sharing your wisdom and your heart. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Merit, and thank you for having me and inviting me and giving me this star moment. It's so sweet. And I know that someday I will invite you as my guest, and I will interview you, and you will share how much amazing work you do for your clients and how you serve our community.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm happy to do that. Happy to do that.
Yeah, and how you manage your work and 3 sons and dog. I just heard barking.
They're around. Usually I have one sitting here. She's not here right now. But so we're going to sign off on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube right now. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you next week with another amazing guest, which you will find out on Monday who that is. If you check out my Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, you'll see, and my LinkedIn, you'll see who that guest will be on next Friday. I'll post it on Monday. Thanks so much, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.